Hey, what's going on out there, Junkie Nation? It's Kenshiro and the guys. We're back with Culture Junkies. Well, actually, we're doing the trailer breakdown of the only thing actually worth talking about, and that's the Avengers Infinity War trailer. I mean, it's going to be fantastic. It's
Kiss Goodnight was like the best Xmas movie.
Sorry about that. So I got GQ and I got Super Nerd Plus with me. What's up, guys?
Hey.
Hey, what's going on?
Super Nerd?
GQ? I'm here. What's up? He said, what's up? Is your mic muted? Oh, you're messing up already, sir. What are you doing?
Oh, what'd you think of this trailer?
What you think? Come on now. What didn't I think about this trailer? It's everything that we think is going to happen is going to happen. And once again, Marvel is 20 steps ahead. Disney is 20 steps ahead.
Basically, they're playing chess while DC's playing checkers. Is that what you're
absolutely getting at? No, yeah. They're playing some space age game that hasn't been created yet, and DC can't catch up.
Right. All right. So cool. So, GQ, what was your initial thoughts when you watched the trailer?
The usual. I mean, it's basically like Super Nerd said. They are very much ahead of the game because they had a plan from the beginning.
Right.
They weren't rushing into it. They were, they basically knew what they wanted to do. And Iron Man and the success of the films that followed, and of course, obviously the Avengers, proved that the plan was going in the right direction, and they just kept on moving. So I mean, it basically shows the difference between being prepared and having an idea of what you want to do and playing catch up. So right. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I think the trailer pretty much speaks for itself. They have a masterful use of that Avengers theme, which has essentially been my ringtone since that movie came out back in 2012. So I mean, it's like the fact that it's like, oh, Marvel never has anything. It's like they don't need character themes for everybody. You know who all these characters are. Especially now, it's like they took characters that nobody even really cared about as far as comics were concerned, and made them household names. And DC, on the other hand, had household names and couldn't make good character movies out of them. So it's like somebody knows what they're doing right versus all this little hoopla and they're not doing this and not doing that.
Right.
Several $1 billion later says different.
Very true. So here's what we're going to do today, guys. We're going to watch the trailer right now, and we just want to get everybody's thoughts as the scenes are playing. Your comments will show up on the screen, and then we'll come back and we'll break down the trailer scene by scene, what we see, the things that kind of stand out to us. So if you want to follow along, make sure you follow along and put your comments in at the same time. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. First time we've done this. If you like it, be sure to let us know in the comments as well. So, all right, guys, you guys ready? You got the trailer queued up, ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Yep, I'm ready.
All right, let's get to it.
There was an idea to bring together a group of remarkable people to see if we could become something more. So when they needed us, we could fight the battles
that they never could.
In time, you will know what it's like to lose. To feel so desperately that you're right, yet to fail all the same. Dread it. Run from it. Destiny still arrives.
Evacuate the city. Engage all defenses. And get this man a shield.
isn't something one considers when balancing the universe. But this does put a smile on my face. Who the hell are you guys?
Like, for real, like all the like spine chilling moments. I mean, dog, that trailer was just fire, dog. I mean, it was just everything, man. I mean, it was like, dude, this thing was just so sweet, man. Like there's so many awesome parts in this trailer. It just makes you like really geek out. And you know, like GQ said, it just highlights just how much better at this than they seem to be than DC. It's like, this is what, like 10 years worth of stuff that's like getting ready to pay off for us right here, right?
Absolutely. Like what's crazy is like, no matter what you can say bad about Marvel and Disney, like GQ said, they took characters that was not popular and made them popular.
Right.
You know, like and then to see them on film, it's like, oh shit. And it's like you get to pick different fruits or vegetables. Like, say if you like Iron Man, let's say if you like Thor, you like, you know, or even Hawkeye or Black Widow. And it's like you got different people to pick from to like. And that's the thing about it. Where I mean, it's I can't explain it. You gonna, it's a good meal. You about to get this movie. It's gonna be a good, healthy meal. And and you're gonna get more of it once this movie is over with.
Right.
And the next iteration comes out.
Right. There's so many like really awesome geek out moments that stand out to me. So let's go see let's break down the trailer like fully. Not too many of you kind of responded in the cast or in the chat. You know, that's okay. Hopefully you'll respond as we're breaking this thing down. It isn't me who over there on Twitch says that the cast is enough to make him want to go see this movie. And I mean, honestly, you can't deny with that. I mean, Mr. Reese over there on YouTube, he says the trailer was epic. You know, Q is in the chat. He also said the trailer was epic. LGZ's checking in.
But I think what it is with the cast, and it goes back to them having a plan. You know, people, you know, the rumors swirl that Ben Affleck doesn't want to be Batman anymore. Mm-hmm. You know, and all this other sort of thing. And it's just like, if that's who, you know, the studio wanted to be that character and they fit the role and they play the part well, a smart studio locks these people up in contracts that are ironclad.
Right.
Like, you know, you heard rumblings, and I've said it before, you know, back when, like, you know, early Captain America stuff, Chris Evans was disillusioned with acting and didn't want to be Captain America. It's like, so we've got you locked up for at least 9 films, and you're going at least into Infinity War. So you better, you know, straighten up and collect that check. So, I mean, it's like, it just goes to show when a studio has a good plan and they have a solid cast in place. Because, like, for example, I can't imagine anybody else playing Tony Stark right now. I can't.
Oh,
it's just impossible for me to see another actor playing Tony Stark. It's the same thing with Black Widow. I can't imagine another female right now playing Black Widow than Scarlett Johansson. I can't imagine another person, even though Ed Norton did a good job. Mark Ruffalo to me is still a better Bruce Banner, and obviously, you know, Alan Hulk, you know, by extent, than anybody else that's played the character. So it's like they got these people on lock. They got these people, and you know, they cast the right people. It's almost the same as the way Andrea Romano would cast perfect voice actors for the different characters in Batman. It's on that level.
Absolutely. Like, for real, like, weren't you sad like when you heard the news of her retiring and like stepping away? It's like, oh my God, like, she's been so part of our childhood, you know, growing up, man. Like, I mean, it was awesome. Some really great comments are coming in actually right there on Facebook. But, you know, stick with us, guys. You know, if you, we're going to play it again. LGZ just commented in. Diana Turner Jackson, hello to you. Go ahead, Super Nerd.
So one thing I want to say to I've been reading comments from different Facebook pages or whatever. Why is Black Widow's hair blonde?
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll definitely get to that. We'll
I want to talk about that. Yeah, we get to that.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk that. So if you're following along, we're getting ready to actually queue up the trailer again. We're gonna break it down, kind of scene by scene, stuff that stands out to us as we go. You'll see us on the screen, but you'll also have your comments on the chat as well. I want to say hello to Sage over there on YouTube as well. Ro D's checking in on YouTube. What's up, fam? How you doing? Ain't seen you in a while. This thing is going to be fantastic. So let's go ahead and break it down, guys. Walk back with me here. Let's rewind. In a count of 3, 2, 1, hit play. Here we go. All right. So actually, first thing I want to stop. Like, what planet do we think this is? Right? Like, I think this is Xandar.
Okay, so Xandar got let's see, what did they have charge of? They
The
had
Power
charge
Stone.
over the Power Stone.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Power Stone.
that makes sense. That makes sense because I mean that. Why not go after power first? I mean that would make the most sense.
Right.
Because because in the trailer so far he has power in space.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think this is Xandar. Yeah. So Super Nerd, also make sure that you know it's muted as we go along. So here we go. We're hitting play again.
There was an idea.
To bring together a group of remarkable people.
And obviously we see Hulk had crash landed. This scene right here was kind of stood out to me as well. You see Wanda and you see Vision. And Vision's got, he's wearing Paul Bettany's regular face, man. I mean, what y'all think about that?
I think she used her powers to alter him. So, we're going to see the connection that we always wanted to see with Vision and Scarlet Witch.
Right.
Possibly maybe a marriage.
And what was that for those of you that aren't that comic, up on comics? Like, what's the thing with Scarlet Witch and Vision that you can speak to?
Basically, Vision, he wanted to be human. He had, even though he wasn't, he had he developed these tendencies and
these feelings, these emotions,
these emotions. And Scarlet Witch felt out of place because of her hex abilities. Mm-hmm. And and then they just connected, and she warped this whole universe around them to make believe that she had kids by Vision.
Yeah, and they were married.
They were married
and all this stuff. It was kind of like a big thing, like back in the early '80s. I think that's when it went down. That Vision and Scarlet Witch were married and they had kids. It was something else. All right, so but
all I can
in
say
the comics,
I'm very glad that Disney did not make the mistake of making the Mind Stone red instead of yellow, because that would have been pretty problematic from a racial standpoint.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Speaking to the whole, Infinity Gems have changed colors from what we've been used to as we grew up playing the game and reading the comic books. And also in the comics, Vision did not have human skin. He was still just the synthoid. He was still like orange. I mean, not orange, but he was red and green primarily.
Right.
So yeah. All right. So here we go.
All right.
Picking it up.
That they never could.
Here we go. All right. Here's the thing that Super Nerd brought up. Why in the hell does Black Widow have blonde hair? Well, in the comic books, and this was something that was actually discussed in our discussion groups earlier on Facebook, there was 2 Black Widows in the comic books. One was Natasha Romanoff, who we know and love. The second was Yelena Belova, who was kind of like almost seen as a usurper to the role. So in this case, remember, GQ, like where did we leave off with Black Widow at the end of Civil War?
In the Civil War, Black Widow was telling Tony to kind of watch his back, and then Tony told her that, hey, T'Challa told basically, told
Ross.
The World Council, Ross, and the rest of the World Council, the UN or whatever you want to call them, that she was the one that let Cap go, basically. So essentially, if they turn Cap into Nomad, which again is another comic reference, she's going to be probably part of his crew, because obviously she has a loyalty to Cap outside of just just the ideological thoughts and standpoints and whatnot, and also the fact that even in the comics they've been lovers and stuff before too. But she's always had it's this kind of a respect of a soldier to one soldier to another type of deal. So I mean, she technically could be on the run or under an assumed identity or whatever as well. You know, just like
Right.
Supernova said, it could be using the other, you know, because there were two different characters using the Black Widow moniker.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, in this universe, they're not going to do that. I think
Nope.
you know she's in hiding.
Right.
Because the thing that makes me wonder though is Nick Fury going to be involved in any way, shape, or form?
I mean, we heard his voice. We heard his voice, so that makes me think that he is going to be in it.
But that's just a callback to, you know, that's just a clip from the original Avengers film, and all the other characters fill in the rest of his words. So I mean, it's going to be interesting to see because I mean, you know, Sam Jackson had supposedly showed interest in being in Black Panther and was upset that he wasn't in it, which again could be a misdirect. You know, he actually could very well be in the last, you know, scene or something like that in that film because we still haven't got the Soul Gem yet.
Right. And we'll speak to that in a little while too. But you know, going back to Black Widow a little bit to finish up. So obviously at the end of Civil War, she's on the run. Like she has to be moving. Like there's no staying put for her. She can't be Natasha Romanoff. Like they know who she is, they know what she looks like, so she's gonna have to change her whole look. So that's what she did. She changed her whole look, and I think her name is going to be Yelena Belova. Maybe they won't even mention her name. Maybe it won't be anything like that. But we'll see.
It still was smart on Marvel's part to pay homage to this character, and that's what another Easter egg. I've been, like I said, all over the net, people say, "Why is it blonde?" Like this is dope for comic book fans who know the character and notice why her hair is blonde off bat. Like that is dope as hell to put that little small detail. And then GQ said the whole Nomad thing. That is awesome too. Like if you don't know who Nomad was, Captain America decided to lose the moniker and become Nomad, and he had the weirdest costume ever created. But that's here nor there. But just little small things like that, you can definitely geek out to.
Yeah, but comment actually had just popped up that somebody had said that they didn't know all the lore. I'm sorry, I missed the name on it, but they had said that they didn't know all the lore behind the characters, but now they're interested in checking it out and learning it. So I mean, that's and again, that goes back to what Supernerd was saying. It's like these little things and touches of why is this, why is that. Now, thankfully, with the internet being what it is, you can find out all those different things. So it's cool that person, and like I said, I'm sorry I didn't see what your name was.
It isn't me who over on Twitch. So yeah, thank you for that comment.
Yeah. So I mean, it's it's one of those situations where it's cool that this sparks somebody into being interested into something else that's going on,
right?
Versus just keeping everything exactly the same. So I mean,
absolutely.
I mean, like I said, it's another testament to when a studio has a plan, things work out really well.
They do. All right, so here we go. We're gonna keep on going. Man, that music is so iconic, man.
They made it that way.
So iconic. It's like right up there with Batman theme and the Superman theme. In my
exactly. And the thing is, it's like it's a team theme. It's not individuals and all this. It's a when you hear that music, the crew is about to come together.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, a lot of people make light or make note about Peter and his arm hair kind of going up and raising, so that's showing spider sense. And a lot of people are saying, "Oh, well, he finally has spider sense." Hello, he already had it. Sharon Reynosa, yeah, it was an absolutely fantastic trailer. But again, Spider-Man already had his spider sense. This is just one of those super obvious things for people that don't know. Right. That was a point of annoyance for me back when Homecoming came out, man.
But here's the thing, like you said previously about the whole him not having or him having it and not showing it. It's his first time, finding his powers. This is his journey, so he's probably developing new and more skills and abilities as he grows.
Absolutely.
Look at Homecoming. When he pushed up the concrete, he didn't know he was that damn strong. You can tell in his face.
Right.
And not only that, if you go back to Civil War when he was fighting Falcon in Winter Soldier, when Winter Soldier, I think it was through like a door or something at him, you saw his eyes get big, the mechanical eyes, because he realized that something was coming. So it's like I think what the problem is, Sam Raimi's got people so stuck on thinking spider sense is that super slow motion down. Everything spirals around. It's like, no, dude, it's not precognitive. But it's instinct. Right before something, exactly. It's instinctual. So it's like right before something's about to happen, he gets a little boom, hey, dodge, or get ready to move or whatever. So it's like, I think people are so stuck on the Sam Raimi idea. And again, I'm getting tired of that. Because again,
me too.
Flash had, and the way they dealt with Flash and Justice League was cool. I have no problem with that. To me, that's what I imagined that
Right.
somebody that fast sees everything as like, dude, this is slow motion. Just like Quicksilver, same thing. Dude,
Right.
this is all slow motion to me. But you can't turn that into that's what spider sense also is, and that's what anything else. It's like, no, spider sense is just a real quick, dude, here it comes, right before it actually comes. So it's
Right.
like I don't know why people are so stuck on thinking that spider sense has to be this big, huge presentation, and it
Right.
doesn't. So
Right.
That's
I
because
don't know.
everybody drinking the Rami, what's his name? Saying
Raimi.
Raimi, whatever. They drinking this Kool-Aid, and I've never been a big fan of those Spider-Man movies. Although the fight scene with Doc Ock was cool, and that was it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right. All right. So here we go. We're keeping on. We're keeping on going.
All the same.
All right. We're gonna have to discuss this ship for sure. 'Cause
Dreaded.
Yeah.
I don't know what the heck that is, dude. I thought
Me
Halo
either.
the first time I saw it. But
Now
I'm
here's
like,
right. Now
Yeah.
here's another scene. Loki handing over the Tesseract. Obviously, we saw him in Thor Ragnarok. If you haven't seen it, apologies for the whole spoiler thing. But Loki grabbed the Tesseract when he was going through Odin's war room right before he put the Surtur's helmet on the what was it, the Everlasting Fire or something like that? I think it was.
yeah, the Eternal
and
Flame
basically,
or something like that.
yeah, the
Which
Eternal Flame, yeah, and kicked
could
off
also
Ragnarok.
possibly be, could also possibly be. But the thing here's the problem: if that's supposed to be the Soul Stone,
Mhm.
it got destroyed. So I mean, I don't think that's where the Soul Stone is. I think Black Panther is going to be the film that reveals that final Infinity Stone or gem, whichever one you want to call it. But I
Right.
think this is about to be Loki's final scene. I think Hiddleston's run as Loki is about to end right after he hands over that Tesseract. Dude.
Right, and I'm like super sad if that's the case, man. Because
I mean, it is what it is. You know what's going to
yeah,
happen.
I know, I know, but still, man.
Many
Still,
deaths
man.
The
Still, man.
Because it's like, because you got to remember, it's like we didn't know it at the time, but I mean, anybody that sat there and thought about it long enough knows that Thanos handed him the Mind Stone, or Thanos' assistant or whatever you want to call him, handed him the Mind Stone before we knew it was the Mind Stone. I mean, before they revealed it. I mean, anybody that thought
Right.
about it was like, got the Mind Stone as well.
Right.
But the fact that it's like it's like, dude, you failed him basically. Yes, you got him what he wanted, but you lost him his other Infinity Stone in the process.
Absolutely. So
It's
Thanos
like,
coming at him, he's like, "Hey, man." Hey man, run that money. Run that money. Where my money, bitch? Basically, that's where he's at. Because like literally, like you said, Loki's obviously stepping over a bunch of dead ass Guardians. Because as we saw at the end of Ragnarok,
it's got to be that ship. So.
Got to be that ship. So obviously, it's a bunch of dead ass Guardians, and Loki's like, here, finally. Obviously, I don't know if he's handing it to Thanos' lieutenants, or if Thanos himself came and just said, one direct shot. But it'd be real interesting to see what happens there. Obviously, that's obvious.
Roland Bergen over on YouTube said he bets that Loki will become Mephisto, which
play the role of Mephisto.
Yeah, play the role of Mephisto. I don't necessarily see it. I don't know if see it. Loki to me is evil, but he's not that evil.
Yeah,
I think he's more, god of mischief.
Right.
Because the thing is, if he was truly that evil, he would have, found a way to kill Thor a long time ago.
Right.
Or even in the sense of found a way to kill Odin when he sent him to the old folks home instead. But I mean, it's like I've never seen Loki as being that evil. Loki is
me either.
He's trickster. He's just playing tricks.
Yeah. He's more of a I want to be in control. I want to be in power, but
I will.
He won't go that far. He won't go that far enough step to like, okay, I'm going to kill Thor, or I'm going,
right.
Or he gets close, but he won't necessarily do it. He'll kill people. And I'm not saying he won't do that. I'm not saying he won't do that, but I don't think he'll. It's like he looks at people like humans or whatever. It's like ants, and again, like you said, it's like their life is like
doesn't ant quarrel with a boot? That type.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't see that. And to me, that's not necessarily evil. That's just somebody that's in power that wants more power. That's not necessarily an evil thing in that regard. But I don't see Loki as a benevolent, overarching, like a Mephisto would be, where it's like, dude, I'm killing and I'm taking souls and this and that, blah blah blah.
Right.
So.
Right.
But Roland Bergen did chime in and saying that he would side with Thanos to save himself. I think Thanos
ain't gonna matter.
As I'm saying, I think Thanos is the one is that benevolent. I will destroy everything in my path to achieve my goal. And
just
Loki's
because.
in his way right now.
Absolutely, just because. Rance Granthack Jorgensen is checking in on Facebook. Says just saw it. Yeah, a lot of characters are gonna die, and yeah, a lot of characters are gonna die. Absolutely.
Oh, it's contract ending time for a lot of these
Right.
actors. I mean,
Absolutely, man.
And-
Yeah.
yeah.
And the funny thing about that, I think I said that in our group chat. I was like, a lot of people gonna be butthurt, but it's the way of the nature. Like I said, contract's gonna be up,
Mhm.
and we all know Avengers is a revolving door team anyway.
Yep. Absolutely. The
and I
roster
guarantee-
changes all the
right.
time.
And here's the thing, though. I guarantee you, when the new roster comes in, Marvel will make you like these new characters no matter what.
And that's not to say that, like, say if Chris Evans does end up staying in the role, like, but just does like spot duty, he can do that. Iron Man could do the same thing. So
True.
We'll see. We'll see. All right, let's keep on going. There's the man. My namesake, the Mad Titan. Yes.
Evacuate the
Bald Bruce Willis.
Engage
Right.
all defenses.
Right.
All right, hold on. Let's talk about that machine that Thor is in. If you got to that
Okay.
point,
Let's go back to where that machine that Thor was on. Okay.
Yeah, I'm wondering, and I think I've heard speculation on this by some other people too, that potentially is, remember how the Mjolnir was forged in the heart of a dying star and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm. You think it's a forge? He's forging himself another
Yeah,
hammer.
I think he's trying to get himself another hammer. Because granted, he can fight with any weapon, and he has again the innate power of being the god of thunder. But that hammer, I'm sorry, that's so freaking iconic.
Yeah.
And it's like he's so used to using it. I think he might be granted he might not make Mjolnir. He might make the other one. The one that Bill carries. Yeah, he might make
Stormbreaker. Yeah,
he might make that one.
That would be dope, man.
There's a lot of possibility there because again, I don't know. They reference Beta Ray Bill obviously in Ragnarok, but I mean, it's like Mjolnir was made directly by Odin, so maybe Thor, if he's making one, might put his own little twist on it or a little spin on it and make something different. So who knows? Now, again, I could be 100% wrong because we don't know what the thing is. We only saw it for like a couple seconds, so who knows?
Interesting.
Also, what about the Iron Spider suit? What do you guys think of that?
Oh, dude, that was awesome.
That looks sweet. So, and to me, I still think it's that one Spider-Man suit. I know you said the Iron Spider suit, but it's the how can I say? It was the one what Ben Reilly had on around that time. It had like the multiple colors. If I can find it. It was like the only one that he had. It was like blue and red, and then he had like the fingers was blue and red. The fingers was blue.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, the one where he actually assumed the role of Spider-Man, and it had like the web shooters, the cartridges on his wrist or something like that.
Yeah. Let's see if you can see that one. That one.
It
kind of looks like that one. Yeah, that one. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. All right.
All right, fair enough. I agree with that. I can see that.
Which people are gonna get mad because Spider-Man changed the suit. Like, no, Spider-Man always had different suits. Like, come on now, get with the program.
Exactly. And not only that, it's like in this when the world is at stake. I'm sorry, Stark's gonna make him a suit with all the bells and whistles. He ain't gonna rely on the pajama suit, basically, as I like to call it. So
all right. So now we see Cap with his beard after he kind of caught the spear.
Now, hold on. Now the person that threw that spear, I forgot her name. That's
Proxima Midnight.
Thank you. Yeah. So
I didn't pick that.
And I like the fact that they kept her in shadow. They didn't like reveal.
You
what
can
she
barely see her, but like it's like a blink and you miss it type shot.
Exactly.
Right there. Yeah. There she is. I just slowed it down. You can obviously tell, it's a woman, and she's throwing a spear, and it's Proxima Midnight, and she was like Thanos' main like offensive lieutenant in the Infinity crossover that they had.
Oh, okay, I do remember her now. Yeah.
And it's like, and it's just a blink and you miss it type of deal, which is exactly, to me, that's how trailers are supposed to be. They're supposed to be, dude, who was that? You got to go back and stop it. Go back and stop it. Not so much, not a growl, roar, jump down a building, slide, and then here's Doomsday. All in his former. I shouldn't have even seen him in the trailer, but let's just keep moving.
Let's keep on moving. There was actually some people that made a crack about Marvel not bothering to CGI out Chris Evans's beard as Nomad.
Exactly. There you go. Because I mean, but again, it comes back to that situation where it's like the fact that they went there with that because people are Cap has to always look, clean fit. It's like, nah, dude. Cap has not always been like that.
Right.
Cap has been around for a very long time. There have been a lot of iterations of that character.
Uh-huh.
And I like the fact that even though it's a departure from the red, white, and blue Cap that we all know and love, and that Chris Evans completely embodied and plays to
Oh man, he owns this role, man. He owns it.
the fact that he's like, no, we're switching it, man. It's like Cap is not Captain America anymore
Right.
because America is kind of like it's representing some ideals that he doesn't even
Yeah,
necessarily.
he doesn't believe in, right?
And I think the cool thing is going to be is I don't know if they're going to go this way. We all know that Cap did eventually lift the hammer, in the Infinity War.
Yep.
But I mean, obviously the hammer is gone as far as we know.
Mjolnir's gone.
So who knows? Yes, who knows? But I mean, it's like I think they're going to either let him do this nomad thing for the first film, and when the chips are down and everybody's getting to that point, he's going to don the original suit, and for the first and only time, he's going to actually say "Avengers Assemble," and it's going to be
that would be dope, man.
It's going to be
that would be dope.
It's going to be that situation where it's like you have, after 10 years, earned this. Not we're just going to throw this together and here you go. No, we worked up through this over
man, I'm like so nerding out at even the possibility right now.
Here's the first time we're going to say this officially.
Yes, that would be dope. You know, Fabio Vega over there on Facebook is chiming in. He says, "Where was Ant-Man?" And honestly, we didn't see him in this trailer.
I heard
that's a very good question.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people were saying, "Where was Ant-Man?" I could have swore
that's a very good question. Very, very good question.
I think I think this comes back to what I was just saying. I think they're going to make it where Thanos invades. His lieutenants are going all over the world searching for the last Infinity Stone because they know it's here on Earth somewhere. That's what I said. It has to be. That's why Wakanda is getting invaded, or whatever the situation is. It has to be in Wakanda. It has to be. There has to be. There's no explanation as to why they're going there. And why the fight is being, because again, we know why they're going to New York because of Doc Strange and the Time Stone. So it's like it has to be in Wakanda. So they're going to Africa to get the Soul Stone. Black people got soul. You know how we go.
Absolutely, man.
It's
like, glow, baby. Say,
right, exactly. Oh, there's gonna be some soul glow beams. I swear to God, after we see.
Oh man, yes, absolutely.
But I think the fact that they're invading to basically get, the rest of the gauntlet. I think we're going to get some of those other characters because I'm trying to figure out where because Thor does not seem to be in any of the action except for whatever he's doing with that machine and meeting up with the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Very true.
So I think Thor is out of this movie. Well, not out, you know what I'm saying? He's not
he's been incapacitated.
He's not in the conflict. And I think the Guardians are going to be the ones that obviously bring him to Earth and here we go because
join the fight.
Right, because Drax is doing everything he can to get his hands on Thanos. We know
that. And I'm glad you said that, actually. That does, since we're breaking this down, right? Obviously, Thanos intercepted the Asgardian ship on its way to Earth. He laid waste to it. He got rid of Thor, hit him out in the space. The Guardians pick him up. Thanos just continued on his way to Earth and wanted to get the other gems. And Thor tells the Guardians, say, hey, Thanos is on his way to Earth. We got to get there, and off they go. So
again, that's the one direct link from the Comic-Con.
The D23. Was it D23 or Comic-Con? I forget.
It was D23.
D23. Yeah, the D23 trailer.
I thought Comic-Con had the same situation.
They had no presence at Comic-Con this year.
Stepped out, remember?
They had no presence at Comic-Con this year.
Oh, you're right. It is. I'm sorry. All right, you're right. Yeah. So where we at in the trailer?
We are at right where Cap steps out of the shadows and you can finally fully see him. So here we go.
All right, cool. I love that line, get this man a shield. It reminds me of John Wick 2. He's like, get this man a gun.
Get this man a shield.
That was cool.
All right, now right there, we see T'Challa fighting one of the Outriders, and now one of the commenters on Facebook actually brought that up. Cedric Chase said, this is one of the Outriders, and Izumi, who actually just chimed in off of Twitch, saying, are the Guardians going to play a big role, or are they kind of a backseat for this? That remains to be seen. From the way this trailer is cut and the way I think the story is going to go, I think the Guardians are going to be either a second or third act part of the film.
That's what I'm thinking too. And again, it goes back to the fact that this trailer is put together in such a way where you can't figure out the continuity of it. You can
Mm-hmm.
try, but it's like you could be 100% wrong because there's no linear narrative in this trailer, which is
Right.
perfect because that's I hate to keep bringing it up, but the second Batman v Superman trailer was so linear in its depiction, where it's like, oh, I can figure out when this comes in and when this comes in,
Right.
and now I've got a checklist of stuff to watch in the movie. No, this one is all over the place, which is
Right.
what a trailer should be because I don't
Right.
want to know exactly what's happening. I want to just be, and then, like I was going to miss this anyway, but I just want to be, brought in where I want to see it. So it's like, I like the fact that it's like, dude,
Mm-hmm.
I might
Right.
be able to piece a couple things together, but there's a lot going on
There's a
here.
lot,
I love it.
right.
I love it. So,
Rance Jorgensen actually just chimed in and said, "Why do you think Black Widow has whitish hair?" We actually covered that earlier in the breakdown. Research a Marvel character named Yelena Belova. She's the other Black Widow, and she was blonde. And remember that Natasha at the end of Civil War kind of had to be on the run. And so since she had to be on the run, she had to kind of adopt a new identity, a whole new look. The red hair was too iconic for her, so she changed it up and like changed her whole complete look. And kudos to Scarlett Johansson. I mean, like honestly, without that red hair, she looks almost completely different to me.
Absolutely.
yeah, I think it's also because of the fact that I think she is naturally blonde.
She is.
Yeah, so I mean, it kind of fits. I mean, seeing her with reddish hair for that long, you got used. I mean, again, it's right here on the side of my cup. It's like you got so used to that look. And then you go back to, she goes back to her natural, actual natural hair color. It's like, dang,
Right.
I almost forgot what she looked like, man.
Right.
So,
all right, now,
T'Challa,
like I said, is fighting one of the Outriders, which is I'm not too up to date. The what?
I'm not familiar with them.
I'm not too familiar with them either. But in any case, I think they were a recent. I think they might have been part of what's it called, Infinity as well. I'll look up on them some more. It's been a while since I've even seen or heard of them, so I'll come back to that. I think what it is,
it's just like they had the Chitauri, which kind of stood in for the Skrull, so to speak, in the original Avengers. I think it's just you need an army. You can't just have what is it, 6 people? Obviously, Thanos is way beyond anybody's level, but you can't have 6 people show up and just take over the entire world. You need an army of some sort. I mean, it's just to make it like, okay, this is a war versus where people were mad about Civil War. It's like, 12 people in a parking lot or whatever. So, I mean, I think this is bringing it to that scale of, no, Thanos brought more than just, him and his lieutenants. He brought he's going to take over the world or whatever, taking over the parts of the universe.
Right.
Whatever.
Rogan Reichard actually brought up another really good question. Why didn't we see Hawkeye? That's a damn good question.
I totally forgot about him. Shit.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, I think they're building it up in a 2-part, because remember, this is originally supposed to have been a 2-part deal. I think we're going to get a situation where, because what's in between after this movie, obviously, what we get Captain Marvel and what else?
After this movie, we get Captain Marvel, Ant-Man and Wasp, and then I think we get Infinity War 4. I mean, Avengers 4.
Real quick, Cedric Craig just brought up in Facebook. He said that they are the army of Thanos and they're engineered for war. That's what the Outriders are.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, so we're getting Captain Marvel, which is quote unquote a period piece because it actually is supposed to take place back
in the
90s,
in the
80s or 90s or something.
Yeah, in the 90s. Yeah.
Yep, and I think Anthony mentioned saying Hawkeye might be the first one out. I don't think so. I think
I don't think so either.
I think we're getting a 2-part deal the way Justice League probably should have done it. Right. But instead of waiting for Darkseid, no, it's kind of like Darkseid showed up first, and and Thanos basically he showed up first and laid waste while trying to get his Infinity Stone or Infinity, last Infinity Stone. Because I think we're seeing him with 2 of these 6 so far.
2 of 6. And we'll point those out later as we go. And
let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. But like I said, this is obviously a lot of speculation, but I think I think Hawkeye and that crew is going to be part of the second film, heavily more part of the second film.
Yeah. Honestly, I have to hold up a second. I have to give a shout out to everybody in Junkie Nation. You guys are doing awesome. You're firing a bunch of questions. We love them. Keep them coming. We're gonna try and answer them as much as we can. Like Rodi actually brought up, when will Adam Warlock show up? I'll try and put a footnote, and we'll address that later. And Ben Nickel and Jay Boss actually just chipped in, said it's going to be awesome and it'll all be congruent. We'll figure it out. So let's keep on going. We'll keep on going right here.
Fun isn't something
That
one
choke slam,
considers
that
without
Thanos though.
Oh man.
All right, now, Hawkeye is confirmed to be Ronin, and I believe that is absolutely true. He is. So there is that. That there is absolutely that. You're right. Isn't me who actually just chimed in too? Are all the heroes in Infinity War fighting for the same causes, or are there different movies? All the heroes are fighting for one cause: stop Thanos.
Right.
Period. That's it. They're all fighting for the same thing. Rogan Reichard says it might be 2.5 hours, hoping for 3. This thing deserves 3. It does. It deserves 3. It does deserve, like, and I know Marvel movies never usually go that long, but this one, damn it better go 3 hours. Like, it needs it.
I think it could.
Yeah, I think it
should.
could.
It's going to definitely be 2.5 because
Right.
I mean we already saw that 2 hours isn't enough. We know that it's not enough with this much content.
Yeah, in the '90s we got hour movies.
Yeah, I mean theaters obviously they want as many repeats as they can. But I think with it being a Disney film and being something this big, I think the mandate's going to come down heavy that you got to run it in at least 3 screens. Obviously on opening day it's going to be ridiculous.
It's going to be crazy.
I don't think anything else comes out on that same day.
Right.
Maybe
all right.
Try.
So here we are. We stopped right here where Vision is actually getting the Mind Stone extracted from his head by Corvus Glaive, which is another one of...
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's not Thanos doing it. I was shocked.
Yeah, no, it's not Thanos. Thanos doesn't do light work. He don't do light work, man. No.
Fair enough. I agree.
Yeah, he don't do light work. So that's Corvus Glaive, and he's extracting the Mind Stone from the Vision.
We knew that already. We did.
Right. What do we think is going to happen to Viz after this is over? You think he's still going to function? Because that's what brought him to life, basically. Is the Mind Stone,
dude. Right. That was the key to making it work. Because even Ultron, with all of his tech and whatnot, could not get him to work without the Mind Stone. So, dude, Vision's about to be done.
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah, Vision's about to buy it.
I want to see him get ripped in half, but that's
I'm sure Corvus Glaive could do it.
Sure.
Mitchell Gaudette just asked us, "Are you guys hoping for a Defenders cameo?" Of course we are.
Oh hell!
I don't think we'll get it. Nah. I don't think we'll get it at all. But of course we are.
Real quick, somebody just asked, "Is that Loki scepter?" No, that is not. Loki scepter was in fact basically kind of thrown to the side after Ultron got the Mind Stone out of it.
Yeah,
and it didn't really need it anymore.
That's Corvus Glaive's weapon. Actually, it's an actual glaive. It's a glaive. Really, that's what it is. All right, so here we go. Keep on going. All right, so now we see Thanos with the gauntlet a little bit, and he shows 2 gems. He's got 2 stones already. Obviously, we see one blue. We see one that is purple. Which one are those, GQ?
That would be power and space. So you obviously get space from the Tesseract, and you get power from basically the orb power. Which, remember that chart that had it spelled out with all the different artifacts, that spelled out Thanos? Agamotto, obviously was the use for the A. What letter was left? I don't remember because it was the Tesseract. There's an H left or something like that.
H. Shit, I don't remember.
Yeah, because Agamotto was A for Ether.
H.
No.
H.
Yeah, Ether was spelled different because it was
right.
Jake McCabe told me. He said it was Celtic. And the H is really for something else. It's spelled different. He told me this. I forgot what the hell it was. Yeah.
Mr. Craig just asked if Vision was an LMD. No, he is not. The Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. do have LMDs, but Vision was never an LMD that I remember. Yeah. So who knows?
Aaron Carlisle, and man, I have to tell you, Facebook is absolutely blowing up right now with comments. Aaron Carlisle says Vision's death may make Scarlet Witch go in and save the day. Now that would be something to see Wanda actually just go berserk and just like really let loose.
We already got a little bit of a glimpse of that when Quicksilver got killed. So I mean, she does have that limitless amounts of power available to her. But it'll also be
Mhm.
interesting to see her go crazy and Thanos to shut that shit down. Like, you better sit down. I've got stuff to do here, just to show how powerful he actually is. Because we're gonna get that moment where Hulk gets in his face and gets bitch slapped. It's gonna happen. Has to happen, and it's gonna be
Mhm.
hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right, so here we go. Keep on going. Let's keep breaking it down. That hit he laid on Iron Man, though, man. I'm sorry. Oh man, that was something else. Sorry, that was just my own little moment. You're like, bitch. Anyway, let's keep on going. T'Challa and his army in Wakanda. Now, obviously, this is an invasion. This is a straight up invasion. Let's freeze it right here, right with the heroes running towards the screen. Obviously, we see that's an invasion. They're storming Wakanda. The Outriders are storming Wakanda because they have no reason to come to Wakanda unless they're looking for something. So that means for sure that the Infinity Stone, the last one, is there. It's in Wakanda. It's the Soul Stone. Excuse me. Yes, it is in Wakanda. That's absolutely where it is. They have no reason to be there otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wonder what the significance of that is, though, because it's like, granted, if Megatron was on here, he could give us even more of a lecture about Wakanda and where the bathrooms are located.
Oh Jesus, yes. Oh Jesus, yes.
It's one of those situations where it's like, what does the Soul Stone bring to Wakanda? It has to be something. There has to be some reason for it to be there. So I mean, but again, it is what it is. I mean, we'll see. We'll find out in February once we see Black Panther.
Well, the Soul Stone was like life. So
no, I get that.
But I mean, what could they bring to life like that?
Unless they're going off of the theory that's always been with evolution that Africa is the cradle of life. So they could.
That's pretty good. That's like that.
They could just be tying into that in general. Just like straight up, like, hey, Africa is the birthplace of like humanity, supposedly, as far as evolution tells it, and even the Bible tells it the same way too. So the Soul Stone is just kind of why life exists on this planet, because the Soul Stone landed in this continent, and that's where the cradle of life is. So here, boom, here you go. This is where humans and everything
Soul Stone, the Soul Stone landed on us.
Exactly.
All right, now
exactly.
look, Eric Hopkins actually brought up a really good point. He said, "Don't forget that just because they show Thanos with 2 stones in the gauntlet in the trailer doesn't mean that the producers didn't edit that scene to avoid spoilers. It's the same thing happened with Thor's eye in both the Thor Ragnarok trailer and the leaked trailer from D23, because in that leaked trailer he had both eyes."
Yeah, remember? Exactly. And Cedric Crane just brought up. He says it makes sense that Black Panther can talk to the souls of the old Panthers.
Absolutely.
So I mean,
very true. Good point. Yeah, there's good point.
Like I said, there's a lot that points to the Soul Stone being in Wakanda. I mean, again, it's also process of elimination. Black Panther is the last film before Infinity War starts. So I mean,
very much so.
Something.
Very much so. Like everybody's pretty much harping on that very same thing, and that's absolutely great. Diamond El Sotelo is excited that Wakanda is hiding an Infinity Stone. Her theory is that Heimdall has it, and Thor hid him and the rest of Asgard there in Wakanda. I don't think so.
I don't know about that, because what would be the connection? Thor doesn't know T'Challa.
Right, he never met
him. T'Challa trusts Cap because of reasons, and same thing with Bucky. He understands that Bucky was brainwashed, blah blah blah. He gets that. Thor doesn't know T'Challa like that, unless, again, and we have no reason to believe this based on what we've seen from Black Panther's trailers, that their paths have crossed, and I don't see how they could, because Thor is in space, and obviously T'Challa is in Wakanda. So who knows? I mean, again, we don't know yet. That's the beauty of these films being put together the way they are.
Okay, well, Diamond actually chimed back in. Actually, Rodi actually brought up another question. We can answer that real quick. Doesn't Wakanda have the majority of vibranium? Yes, actually, it has all of vibranium. That's where it is.
No. I'm sure some from Sokovia survived, because remember, that stuff's too hard.
Maybe.
Because again, you got to remember, Ultron had a lot of vibranium
He did.
in
He did.
He did.
that machine. So
He did. Diamond El Sotelo says Asgard is hiding in Wakanda. Heimdall can see the souls into everyone in the universe. I don't really think so. I mean, I'm not totally discounting your theory, but I don't really think so. Aaron Carlisle chimed in and said Wakanda's technology may have come from an Infinity Stone. What do you guys think? Technology coming from a stone?
I don't know.
yeah,
Maybe powering it. Maybe powering it up.
You got to remember though, these, as far as we know, these things are like, older than the universe itself, so nobody knows what their full extent is.
But wouldn't that kind of cheapen Wakanda and Wakanda's absolute excellence of being the most advanced nation in the world?
I'm
because they actually
could.
built it themselves.
It definitely could, but again, we don't know because you have to look back at the Mind Stone. The Mind Stone is the only the reason that Ultron worked. Basically, it's like you didn't get Ultron until the Mind Stone basically kind of got involved. So,
Right.
and then obviously vision by proxy, but from Thor's lightning and the tech that Ultron had already put together. So I think they're allowing these things to be used in ways beyond just they're sources of immense and crazy power. It's like, well, yeah, that's the old. Things are always
David
always
Lopez
power,
brought up a good one. I'll get back to that. My boy Monday from work, he said I can see Heimdall and Danai Gurira's character hooking up. I could totally see that too. Rogan Reichart actually asked, was Nick Fury was shown in the trailer? He was not. We heard his voice, but he was never shown. And David Lopez Jr., the thing I was bringing up, he said the Soul Stone is the ring Black Panther got from his dad. Now that could be very interesting.
That'd be cool.
Very, very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's all sorts of possibilities there for sure. Because I mean, they built up something that is so filled with possibility, and just the fact that it's like, dude, you have 10 plus years of buildup and 10 years of like this things just being put together, and now it's all coming together finally. So it's like the possibilities are endless. And dude, I'm sorry. And that's an interesting theory. Kevin Gouillard is saying that he bets that Heimdall is an old Wakandan, which would be interesting. I mean, who knows? I mean, the Asgardians do live insanely long periods of time. So I don't know. What do you think, Super Nerd?
I don't know. That's just like it's just all theory and hearsay. But I do like the theory that the Soul Stone could be handed down from T'Challa.
T'Chaka.
Yeah, the king.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be pretty. It makes definitely sense why they would come there. That would make total sense.
Right.
As
Would
far as
Wakanda have flourished if the way that it does if there was not an Infinity Stone? In the comics, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I mean, this is a place that has not been touched. Hasn't been. They wanted to take it over. They wanted to try to invade it, but the only person who did invade it is Namor. But it's here nor there. But
right.
It's been everything. They cured cancer. They cured every disease that's out there. They were so advanced,
but closed off from the world. Yeah,
exactly. And you think about it, there was a book that came out a few years back that Black Panther installed Tony Stark's like cables, like his what was it, Ken? Sure, help me out. It was all the cables inside of the Stark Towers, basically just to infiltrate, listen in on what he was saying, listen what he was doing. Come on now, like, how did you and Stark didn't even know that until later on,
I remember also in the comics there was one time that Tony thought he was going to basically muscle up on T'Challa and say, hey, I'm in this suit of armor, what you gonna do? And then T'Challa just uttered a word and shut down his armor. That's how bad that dude is, man. For real. He knew like he had a back door into Tony's technology. That's how good T'Challa was, man.
Exactly.
So anyway,
there's all sorts of possibilities for sure.
All right, so let's break down this shot right here of the heroes running in front of the Wakandan army. Of course, you got Black Panther, you got Cap leading the charge actually. In front of even T'Challa, over to over to Cap's right. You got Bucky, Winter Soldier. You got the Hulk back there. And you also got War Machine in the top left corner, which some of you may or may not be able to see.
Yeah, War Machine and Falcon.
Yeah. All right, don't forget about
yeah.
Black Panther's
Okoye. Yeah, Okoye. His Dora
exactly.
Milaje. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okoye is there. You know,
And
makes you wonder where.
you know, hold on. You know that's our code for them to put somebody who may not know this character that we know who it is on the right next to Captain America, right next. Even let's go outside of the character, the actors in general. We already know she's a great actress anyway. It's like it's dope to see that happening.
Well, not only that, it makes the hero shot that much more diverse.
Exactly.
And it shows that it's like, look, there's any and all differences aside, this is bigger than anything that any of them have faced. Any of them, no matter what. Like, for example, Wakanda, like you said, has always been so isolated and shut off. The fact that Bucky is there, Cap is there, Hulk is there, Falcon is there, War Machine is there. Like, this is so important and so big that this one frame explains all of that in one shot. It's like, this is the fate of the entire world at stake, and these heroes are going to stand together and go against this major threat. And it's like, dude, I'm sorry. It's like, you got Justice League, and that's fine. This one shot here doesn't even have Iron Man, Spider-Man, Doc Strange, and a lot of characters that are also going to be in it. And this is still super iconic, just based on the fact that there's such diversity and such thrown into this. It's like it's an entire Black army, African warriors,
Right.
And led charged by an African king,
right?
And his second, basically. And it's just like dude.
All right. Eric Hobson is asking a question. What's Cap wearing in the running scene, especially his arm cards? Could that outfit be made of vibranium? Well, if you look at it, this looks identical to his suit that he was wearing at the end of Civil War, except for it's been stripped completely of any paraphernalia or any iconic look of America. He's like stripped all of that completely out. He's still wearing, I mean, it's part of the costume, so he's still wearing the straps that he would actually magnetically stick his Captain America shield to, but he doesn't have that anymore. But if you see, looking at his arm, remember T'Challa in the trailer said, "Get this man a shield." Well, he's wearing he's got a Wakandan shield, and obviously it's made out of vibranium, but it's not something that he can throw. It's not his shield. At some point, you have to believe that Tony is going to give him back the shield that he's known for.
I don't think it's going to be the same shield. I think somehow, some way, because remember, they've been teasing throughout all of this some prototype Captain America shield. They threw it in as a joke a few times. They even had it in the background in the first Iron Man film. They showed it in the second Iron Man film, and then we propped up the thing to turn, to basically make it Starkium, the new element or whatever. They have never had the full payoff of that prototype shield yet. I think that T'Challa and Tony are going to get together on this one. And it's like, look, you got the vibranium. I've got the concept. Let's make Cap a brand new, better shield than he's ever had.
Right.
I think, again,
that makes sense.
You give him that bad boy, you have him wear the old suit, and you finally get to say Avengers Assemble in the second film.
Oh, that'll be everything.
There is so much potential there for just that moment that it's just like, dude, it's there. It's built in. Everybody has been waiting for him to say it. They've teased it, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, I think if they finally make a moment out of that, it'll be like, dude.
Right.
That'll get repeat watchings just based on that alone. You're like, dude, they had that moment, man. Cap finally got his stuff back. He said it, man, and like the whole crew was behind him, and it was wrestling Thanos. Dude, it's one of those things, man. It's gonna because that's the rallying cry for the Avengers.
Absolutely.
Yes, and we haven't heard it. I mean, we were kind of teased with it at the end of Age of Ultron. But he was more he wasn't going to say assemble. He was just addressing them to kind of come together and train. You thought he was going to say it, though, at some point.
Right.
You thought he was going to say it.
I'm telling you, if they're going to, because even the toys that talk don't say it.
Right. So you think they've been holding on? Because now you think about it, if you go back, I've never actually heard him say Avengers Assemble.
No, because he hasn't said it.
I think they're saving it for the moment where he's earned the right to fully say it. Because again, it's one of those, you can't just throw that line away. Right. It has to be a reason, and it really has to be a reason for him to bring a whole bunch of people together that after they've been getting beat down or whatnot. Because again, you notice everybody's fighting their own battles in this one. It's not like the team is facing this threat. So it's like once it comes down to it, it's like, dude, Thanos is whipping our asses, and he seems to have this unlimited power. and the Guardians are going to show up, and it's going to just be dude. I'm telling you, it's going to be that moment where they're going to bring it they're going to basically bring it all home, and it's like, look, we've earned it, and here it is, and you've been waiting for it, and here it is. That's just the way I would do it. I'm sorry, I just think that's how they do it, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Whew.
I mean, all right. So basically, here we are. We're pretty much at the end of the trailer when the theme hits right there. Okay, Kevin Goyad actually said wants our thoughts on stripped down Thanos. Feel like he is dressing down and will boss up at the end of the next movie. Now, I think the director actually, one of the Russo brothers actually or usually the director or the producer spoke about that and said that the reason Thanos stripped down from the armor that he normally wears, with the helmet and the other stuff, is that getting the gauntlet is going to be like a spiritual thing for him. Like, how Muslims, they basically, when they get dressed up for like a spiritual type thing, they're wearing special robes, or they dress down and they're not really wearing, almost like a baptism. Like when you think of a baptism, right? You're not
Right.
like in a Baptist church, you wear like the white overclothes, and you don't wear any hats or anything like that. Similar thing to Thanos here. I think this is like a baptism by fire or something like that. I don't know. But he feels like because he's not a warlord anymore, and he's going to be like this all-powerful god once he has the Infinity Stones, he doesn't need the armor. The armor will be basically worthless. He doesn't need it.
Well, I
That'd be
mean,
interesting.
yeah, but in the books, he always, he rarely has his armor on anyway. He's chilling at the crib, plotting until he's ready to go battle. Like you said, it's light work what he's doing in the first movie. In the second movie, that's what you're going. Like you said, you may see him in his armor.
And I think, yeah, exactly. Second film, if they save his armor for the second film and he like forms it around himself using the gauntlet or something, or even a supercharged version of it, it basically makes it where it's like Superman said, he's doing light work right now. It's collecting the stones. I think once he sees that there's going to be this united force of 40 plus heroes or whatever it's going to be against him, okay, and all my lieutenants are dead somehow. All right, it's time to get serious. It's like Oro in Street Fighter. It's like, okay, I'm about to unbind the other arm now. Let's go.
Yeah, right.
So you know what I'm saying. So I think it's one of those situations where it's like they're holding back on it. Like you said, he's just going around collecting his stuff.
It isn't me who asked the question off of Twitch. He said, do you think it's possible that all the heroes die in Infinity War and all of them will be brought back in Avengers 4? Well, think about it like this. Infinity War comes out, then we get what do we get again? We get Captain Marvel, who isn't supposed to appear. We get Ant-Man and Wasp, who don't seem to be part of this trailer at all.
So far, as far as we know.
So far.
Yeah.
It could be, but like
they're small. We couldn't see them.
Right. Yeah. There's that, but it could be.
Peter Anthony is saying that he had armor in Infinity War with the gauntlet and helmet, etc. We know, yeah, true enough. Right out of the comics, he did, and even at the end of what was it, Age of Ultron, when he said, "Fine, I'll do it myself," he still had, But I think they did that from the sense of the connectivity for people that, obviously comic goers, comic readers, we know who Thanos is with or without the helmet. I think they kept that helmet on because that's what you saw at the end of Avengers. That's what you saw in Guardians, and that's what it's kind of keeping that this is the same character, so people don't what's going on. Because Thanos his appearance changed a lot from the end of Avengers to Guardians alone. Yeah. He lost the deep purple hue, which Maggie Shaw is very, very upset about.
Right.
And he just looked different. Obviously, it's the same character, same name, but I think for that continuity's sake of having that look, because even the Hot Toys that I have sitting over in the corner over here is the full armor, Guardians of the Galaxy look, which again, I think if he puts that on once it's like all his lieutenants are dead and it's like, okay, I'm ready to fight, I think it'll mean a little bit more than having him walking around in it all the time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think it'll just mean more.
Okay. Well, Rogan Reichard actually says, I don't think we get Thanos really in a fight until 2019. Marvel likes to build, let characters marinate with the viewers who don't follow Marvel like us hardcore fans. Now,
I agree with that.
I can see that. Here's what I think. In the third act, I think well, actually, all throughout the movie, I think Thanos is going to throw down, and you're actually going to be scared of this guy. And I think we're going to have I think I've heard some people say this is going to be Marvel's Empire Strikes Back, where the evil guys actually win. I think Thanos is basically going to run roughshod over everybody. Like you saw what he did. He chokeslammed Peter, and like he chokeslammed Spider-Man and put him in the ground. He basically mollywopped Iron Man with one punch. I don't know if he's going to get up from that. We didn't see anything else, but I think he's going to level these dudes with ease. Like hell, in the D23 trailer that you may or may not have seen, he threw a freaking planet at people, dude. Come on.
Here's the other thing, though. I think he's going to fight, but it's going to be just little quick things to show how much more powerful he is than anybody on the playing field.
Yeah.
I think, because again, here's what we haven't talked about, and I just went back to the frame and double checked it on YouTube. The Hulkbuster lands.
Yeah.
In Wakanda.
Something that looks, yeah, exactly. Tony wasn't in Wakanda.
No, he was not.
As far as we know, he might show up there. One theory is that Banner's wearing it, which to me doesn't make any sense because he doesn't need
none. That would be funny though, wouldn't it? That would be really funny if he was wearing it.
Here's the other thing: that scene with him and Black Widow at the beginning of the trailer, he's standing next to the Hulkbuster arm.
Yes, he is.
For some reason,
you were absolutely
right.
Like,
I'm not great.
Let me rewind the screen and I'll show people what you're talking about.
I'm not. Oh, you think they're outfitting the Hulkbuster with vibranium?
Ooh.
Yo.
Ooh.
Because that's definitely in Wakanda.
Whoa, if you
go to the still frame, where
I'm on the still. It's right there on the screen. People can see it.
Banner's looking at Scarlet Witch or whatever. Dude, that's Wakanda in the background.
Yeah.
So I swear to goodness, I think again, that's where that new shield's going to come from.
Yeah.
I think Tony is going to have a little bit of input on that new shield because again, the shield blueprint was made by Stark's father. So. Dude,
I mean, that's a thread that hasn't been touched. Yeah, man. That's a thread that hasn't been touched in a very long time. Very long time. So, all right. So if we go to the end of the trailer, which is pretty much where we are, then we see Thor with his removed eye still, and he's addressing the Guardians, and you see them all right there. Now, I think in the D23 trailer we saw Star-Lord and Doctor Strange working together, fighting.
Yeah, they were.
How do we feel like the Guardians are going to fit in with, in this, in the third act here at the end, like when they come in, like basically fighting to save the day?
They might just say save the day, but they might give Mollywop too as well. We all know that.
More than likely.
I don't know how. It might just be an all-out brawl like they did in Civil War at the airport. It might just be an all-out brawl, everybody going at Thanos, and he just messes them up.
Doesn't matter, right?
It doesn't matter. So I don't know. It's inevitable. So
I'm loving that mustache on Star-Lord and that grin. Chris Pratt is sitting there happy as hell to be a part of. I would be too, but he is happy as hell to be part of this film. It's almost like he couldn't even contain the excitement.
Right?
It's like, dude, and again, it comes back to what I've always said. Marvel does not care about your misgivings about the various characters. If you look at that, still you have Star-Lord, Groot, Gamora, forgot her name,
Mantis.
Thank you, Rocket, and Drax. Compare that to any Justice League still. You know exactly who all these characters are in Justice League. And here's the thing. 10 years ago, you couldn't have got me to name any of those characters except maybe Rocket.
Damn right.
Yep,
damn
absolutely.
Right.
So it's like they've made these characters household names in that short period of time. And these other characters from DC have had 75 years. And James Gunn nailed it in 2.
Yeah, it's a
like,
shame.
Dude,
it is
I'm
a shame.
sorry. I don't care what if you like Marvel or DC or whatever. You have to appreciate the level of just consistency and universe building that Marvel has done, because they took a B-list crew, some of them C-list, and have made them characters that you care about, know, love over this. It should not have been that crazy that they did.
No, it shouldn't have been.
You know how crazy it is when you got grown ass women saying I am Groot and shit in conversation.
Hell yeah.
Like,
they love this guy. They love this guy. Yeah, man. And now he's honestly, it's been great. So
it's gonna be great, man.
Yeah. All right. Rance, Jorgensen actually brings up something, it looks like he's getting ready to go. We're done with the kind of the breakdown of the trailer. I think, what do you guys think? Just watch it in its entirety one more time with us not talking over it, just to bask in the splendor of the greatness of this trailer.
I'm also gonna pull a Rance. I'm gonna call it that for right now, sir. I'm gonna pull a Rance because I also have to go as well. But I mean, it's been fun.
Sure.
We definitely have to do this again.
Yes, we will.
Next time a worthy trailer comes around, because this trailer definitely deserved all the convo.
Absolutely.
But you guys enjoy the rest of the trailer again, and I'm sure I'll watch it again at some point before the end of the night.
Right.
I'm sorry, dude. It's like the fact that this film is finally coming out, for one. For two, dude, I mean, it's like there is nothing. There's like, to me, it's like I have no regrets on this one. Like there's nothing I saw, and it's just like, dude, I wish they would. It's like, cause it's like, dude, even people have, the real early rumblings like Thanos doesn't look quite as good as he should. It's ILM.
Mm-hmm.
This is an early trailer.
Tell them again.
It's ILM. I am not worried about them fixing whatever they got to fix, dude.
Neither am I.
It's like they even fix. Even as bad as that Ivan Ooze looking Apocalypse was, they did some tweaking, and that was Fox and whatever effects house did that. This is ILM. They don't play. So whatever misgivings you have, Thanos is gonna be fine. I'm even remotely worried, man.
All right.
So
all right, junkies. So
I'll get to the next one.
All right, now. So GQ's gonna check out, and we're gonna check out too. But I'm gonna run through the trailer one more time for you guys to actually see it, and we'll sign off after that. You guys have been a fantastic host. A lot of you guys have checked in. I've seen a lot of new voices checking in on the chat. That's been fantastic. If you've really enjoyed this combo, go do us a favor. Give us a like right here on Facebook and follow us. We do shows, video podcasts just like these every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We would love for you guys to join us, and it will make the convo that much greater. So for Super Nerd, for GQ, and for Super Nerd, GQ, and the rest of the junkies, I'm Kenshiro. Hopefully we'll see you guys next Tuesday night.
Hey.